bullshit, garbage fucking popping up all of a sudden when I push record.
And it happened here in North America, and it happened 12,800 years ago, and its story has yet to be fully told.
Isn't it possible there was something larger before, like the 65 million year ago one that hit the Yucatan? Like, what kind of impact did that have? Well,
It had nothing to do with 65, I can tell you that, you fucking weirdo.
None of us would be here. Yeah, that'd be a wrap, right?
Yeah, that was a single large object about...
Israel and Palestine. That's what we were talking about. Now, how in Palestine you guys are Israelites that fucked up. Built airplanes and all kinds of shit that you shouldn't have.
From David Bowie predicting the birth of Kanye West to
David and
CIA
Goliath.
writing a hit song to end a war, there have been many...
Go like some more people. Try.
So today I've gathered 7 of the craziest music...
You won't have a breath of fresh air.
Starting off with the Paul is dead theory. Also, just to clarify, I'm not going to talk about any fake death conspiracy theories because there's basically one of those for every artist, so maybe I'll save it for another video. This is probably the most famous and well-known music conspiracy theory, and that is the Paul is dead theory. Some people believe that Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in a car crash on November 9th of 1966. The rest of the band wanted to cover up his death, so with the assistance of the British government, they found a look-alike to replace Paul and left clues in their music alluding to the truth that the real Paul McCartney is dead. The supposed look-alike is a man named William Shears Campbell. Supposedly, Mr. Campbell entered a Beatles look-alike contest in 1965 that was hosted by the Beatles manager in case one of his boys died. That sure sounds realistic, doesn't it? Well, it is kind of true since there was a look-alike competition hosted by a radio show in New York, but that was in 1968, and it wasn't hosted by the Beatles manager. But the story goes that William Campbell had plastic surgery, he went missing, and he took Paul McCartney's spot in the Beatles. However, this is one of the biggest stretches in the entire story because there's not even any evidence that this guy existed in the first place. Regardless, people love to point out how the original Paul and the fake Paul look different. The fake Paul has different ears, he's a different height, and he has green eyes rather than brown. After the Beatles broke
The rich kid's got a fucking set up that I need for singing.
Many people began to notice that Paul McCartney was often different than the rest of the band. Abbey Road cover, Paul has his right foot forward while everyone else has their left foot forward, and he also isn't wearing any shoes. During the Beatles' magic...
So he can tell you some bullshit.
...were wearing red carnations, except Paul, who was wearing a black carnation. But one of the biggest pieces of evidence is on the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. There are many things on the album cover that conspiracy theories...
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I can't ever remember the lyrics to anything.
And has an arrow pointing to Paul. 119 is supposed to symbolize 11-9 or the 9th of November. On the back cover, Paul is the only one not facing forward, and George is pointing to a lyric that reads, Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins.
He's the guy that they're saying is the medic for the Russian side, giving bullshit news. Instead of talking about Chris Watson has threatened Dustin, blah, 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 so they can make it national news and he feels safer.
Is that on the album cover for Abbey Road, a Beatle sits in the back all by itself with a license plate that reads 28 if, meaning that Paul would have been 28 if he had died.
He would feel safer.
And then there's a bunch more supposed music itself.
More accomplished, anyway.
John Lennon says this, but when it's played backwards, people interpret it as At the end of the song Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon mutters a line that
Thomas Watson.
Cranberry
Name him and then name Sam Baker and yeah, I'm talking about naming people and then blowing their brains out on TV. Get them on the news and be like, this guy's wanted by Chris Watson, FBI's most wanted in Iowa, kind of a thing. The few things he actually did to piss me off, you'd be surprised at how many other FBI most wanteds there are too. What? I'm saying the few things that he actually did himself to piss me off to be one of the FBI's most wanted. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there. Troy Daniels, probably Tony Leonardi, a lot of them.
Well, this is him.
actually present when I'm with my family. NU makes it convenient to take steps toward the profession I want and to finish courses just in time for the next family camp.
Guess who just finished?
Apply today at NU.